at Springfontein
Yes.
with Jeanne.
Correct.
And I'm not allowed to say that you're the winemaker, but you're the vigneron.
Yes.
So why is that? What does this signify for you?
I think first of all, one point I'd like to say about winemaker, but more precisely about South Africa, is that they wouldn't be winemaker. I don't think this whole wine world in South Africa, we are talking now about 364 years to be more precise, will have not exist. So I truly respect here the role and the job of winemakers. But for me, I see this word beyond this word for me that I like to maybe extend to vigneron, simply because I'm French, first of all. Being born and raised in Burgundy, Chablis, um, we have a whole connection with the nature where, in fact, the wines start in the vineyard. To make a great wine, you obviously need to have great grapes. To make great grapes, you obviously need to have a great vine. And to make a great wine, you simply need to have a generous nature giving you a great terroir. So whether it's the soil, whether it's the wind, whether it's also the beautiful sun that we can have here, the exposures, and talking about terroir, it's also the people working with that terroir and for that terroir, striving for that terroir. So for me, it's more than the word vigneron, I would say, or the word winemaker. Call it how you want to say. For me, it's above all a philosophy that is striving you to connect with the nature, to better understand the nature in order to bring out the best out of what the nature is giving you. So in the end, for me, it's a whole philosophy where um, you are not really the one controlling what's happening because it's the nature, but you're more rather here as a midwife trying to um, just uh, give birth to what the nature is giving you. So that's what I would call my whole vigneron philosophy. So I was able to put that word because it's a French word. Vigneron for vigne. Vigne in French is vine, and neuron means the person dedicated. So to the vine. That's simple as it, I would say.
C'est ça, c'est ça.
C'est ça. That's what I translated. That's simple. C'est ça.
So now I think we need to explain where we are. Springfontein,
Yes.
Stanford, and it's not Stanford, famous Stanford, it's Stanford, South Africa.
Exactly.
Where is this? And what kind of place is this?
So Stanford is a beautiful village located at 2 hours. Located 2 hours from Cape Town, about 20 minutes from the world wild capital of Wales, Hermanus, and the neighborhood city Gansbaai, which is famous as well for shark diving. So Hermanus and Gansbaai being close to the oceans, we are lucky as well to be enclosed to the ocean, but also to have this 1,000 Klein River mountain being right opposite to the village, which allow us to get that microclimate. So the ocean not far from us, the strong wind that we are receiving from the ocean that is in fact coming back from the mountain to then go back to, I would say, our vineyard. Stanford is for me the destination to go if you want to escape the city life, if you want to have the countryside experience with obviously not just wine but also food. We are so privileged here to have, I would say, a whole community dedicating to making the whole Stanford alive. I can give you the name of different chefs here that are bringing that place, that in fact putting Stanford on the international map. I can give you also the name of renowned winemaker here, or vigneron, if we can see, that are also doing their best to provide you the wine that you're drinking here today. So
At the same time, well, we're Springfontein, so
yes.
I must say that if you want to have really good food, it's Springfontein you should go to. And
Oh,
I'm not blushing when I'm saying that Springfontein is the place where I have had the best food ever in South Africa. So, but now the other thing is you make wine of lots of different styles. And you make some strange wines. You have very curious ideas. I mean, we have just tasted, actually here in this glass, I have a pinotage.
yes.
Well, you can tell by the color that it doesn't look like a pinotage, but you make white pinotage, for
Yes.
instance. What you make? What's the ideas behind all these wines?
So I'm glad that you're raising that question. I think the idea is simply to show to the world how different we are and how the difference can be a strength, in fact. We are not mainstream. We are doing things differently, but sometimes we love to go beyond the extra mile, not to be able to show what the nature combined to human hands can do. We consider ourselves as pirates. One of the reasons why you may see some skulls in some of our label. We, in fact, even the logo which speaks itself when you are looking at this beautiful island here. Springfontein is a land of opportunity, where whoever wants to come and wants to connect with the nature and wants to craft the wine together with us and to be able also to pair it with great food. Everyone is a welcome here, regardless of your skin color, regardless of your gender. Everything here is permitted. I think that's what represents Springfontein. And obviously, it's true that we have a wide range of wines, but it also represents the diversity that we are here at Springfontein. Diversity, again, in terms of colors, but also in terms of origin, in terms of ethnicity, to some extent, that makes us who we are.
So, I mean, you, for instance, you're French,
Exactly, myself.
but your parents are not French.
Exactly.
They're from
I am from West Africa
West
as
Africa.
well. So my father is from Benin, my mom from Togo. And so these are, I would say, my West African origin. And combining this origin for me, it's a blessing. I'm considering myself as some people will say European Afropean for me. That's exactly the word I like to use. And Afropean, it's a whole mix of who you are and how you want to express yourself, combining both worlds. I think.
Where do you feel at home?
Where do I feel at home? In my head. Sorry. I think it's for me in my head. I am officially a nomad, a wine nomad. I had the privilege to travel the world, to live in different places, but all brought me to wine as funny as it is. I left Burgundy, Chablis, a limestone region, to reach here, Springfontein, South Africa, that tiny little wine of origin, Springfontein Rim, our limestone vineyard. And that for me is just a blessing, and it's more journey I've been going on.
So we have to mention one more thing, because it is such a special thing. I have just tasted 2020, 2021 chenel.
Yes.
Uh, who has heard about chenel? You post a comment in the comments if you've ever heard of chenel. But what's chenel?
Oh wow, Chanel. Chanel and not Chanel. And
Yeah, it's
Chanel.
well,
So Chanel, Chenel. It's even, in fact, a true South African white varietal. So this is a cultivar that has been existing since the 17th, which is a crossing of Chenin Blanc and Trebbiano, and which somehow has been forgotten here in South Africa, certainly because that cultivar has a thick skin, like the pinotage, and people were also doubting about how they can use it effectively when producing wine. So at Springfontein, after planting the King of South Africa pinotage, which we are specializing into, we decided on our limestone terroir to be able to find the queen of South Africa, the white varietal, because in South Africa, the most planted cultivar is Chenin Blanc. So it was important for us to give birth to that cultivar, which is Chanel. So we planted Chanel. In fact, we have done our first harvest in 2020. And I just want also to give a big shout to everyone who was able to contribute in not only planting this magnificent cultivar, but also to being able to bring that wine alive. Whether it's the past team, whether it's the current team, whether it's going to be the future team. But the whole idea behind is to be able to truly demonstrate that in South Africa, you can make also not only South African wine coming from South African cultivar. So I hope maybe in 30, 50 years, people will give as much recognition um, for Chanel than it is for Pinotage. It's actually, in fact, here our mission at Springfontein.
Jeanne, thank you very much.
Oh, you're most welcome.